So gold is still very much bullish, all right, very very much bullish, and in this video I'm going to break down what to expect in the coming week, and also I'm also going to show you guys at the end of this video. I'm going to show you guys how I was able to catch this trade that led to this other trade over here. Now I posted this um in our WhatsApp community. Though I didn't post the trade before I entered it, so after I entered it. But previous day, day prior to this trade, I talked about that particular move that we're going to see price go down this level on Friday. I specifically said on Friday, which was yesterday, and it happened exactly as we said it. Now I'm going to show you why in that trade, in the breakdown of those trades by the end of this video. So make sure to stick around. But first of all, let's take a look at the long term what gold is doing. So as usual, we're going to be using a clean charts, right? Now, if you look at those whole setup over here, you see that gold is obviously on the bullish is bullish, all right? Is on the bullish trend. It has a bullish trend, right? So now if you look at this over here, normally you will want to mark out these are key levels, all right, or key demand levels. These are the closest to one, or the obvious two key levels. So what we saw on Monday throughout what we saw throughout last week, all right, from Monday to Friday, was that gold didn't really do much. It was just going to and fro, both sides, and just accumulating liquidity on both sides. Now, what I saw that made me to say, okay, price was going to come down, was we had this kind of pattern that looked like this is not a perfect head and shoulder, but it looks like a perfect head and shoulder. So once we saw this, I was like, price was going to go down. Now I'm still expecting price, right, to come down. Now the reason I say this, right, is because if I'm to map out this zone, not even talking about this one over here, but if I'm to map out this one, since I mainly use 1 hour for my structure, you can see that this price did not tap the golden zone. Now, what normally happens, all right, with gold, most times when we see this kind of move where we have a clean structure, then price comes down, tap fair value gap, we normally see price go up, then come back again, take out the stop loss over here, then finally tap into that golden zone, then we see a boom. Now, this is one move I'm expecting to see in the market, all right, within, let's say, Monday, Tuesday, if gold is going to move next week. Now, this is one movement. Now, another movement also looking at, right, in case we don't see that retracement, is that if it happens to be that this trend line, right, for those that apply trend line to their trades, for those that apply trend line, if we see this trend line holding this price, because as you can see price reacted to that trend line, if we see gold going upwards to, let's say, create a clean break of structure where we see gold closing above this range, not just sweeping it as a liquidity sweep, but closing above this range, then simply means that this becomes a new, guys, subscribe if you trade gold. So this will become a new break of structure. Extend this. So this will become a new break of structure, right? So it become a new break of structure. So what are we now going to expect? We'll now expect gold to come down into that demand zone, then continue upwards, because by then we'll now have a very strong demand zone over here, and also another new we use this zone now, another new POI over here. This is what I'm expecting if we don't see price coming down, right, to take out this week over here. So this is basically the two first moves that I'm expecting from gold, right, next week. So if you are trading gold, you want to look out for this particular move. Now I already have a position running that I might hold to see if this is the move we're going to see on Monday, but I'm going to break those down in a couple of minutes. But before then, let's just take a look at BTC, because I recently added BTC to my watch list. Let's take a look at BTC and see what BTC is doing. So after then, I'll break down some of those trades that I took. So we took a BTC trade where I actually shared this trade in our WhatsApp channel, our WhatsApp group, and it hit stop loss. Though that POI, as you can see, that point of interest is still pretty much valid. But yeah, that is just the market. You never really can tell when how exactly where the market is going to reject from, but you can only trade with the information you have. Now, um, trades like this would normally I normally risk little here because sometimes price might just be trying to make a decision to come down to the main POI, which is the 4 hour POI. Like if you go to the 4 hour time frame, right? So as you can see, this is the main POI, but we still had a very clean zone over here. So what I'm expecting BTC right now, I'm just waiting for BTC to come down to this level, right? And I'll take a buy now. Even if price continue to go push forward, I'm not going to take a buy because that might just be price trying to do some crazy stunts. That come as long as we've had this. If you zoom in a little bit, if you zoom in a little bit, if you zoom in a little bit, there's what we call change in state of change in order flow, or change in state of delivery, whatever you want to call it. If you trade ICT, you will see that this white candle close below this other block over here, flipping it into a breaker block. So there is most likely that that's this level. Guys, I don't know if I'm doing analysis or I'm now teaching trading. So it's most likely that this area has been flipped because of that change in state of order of delivery has been flipped from other block to breaker block. So we're most likely going to see price rejecting from that level, then down to this level. But why I don't take this kind of sell positions is because sometimes you just see price spike, take you out of that trade, and continue its way. So the best thing is just for you to wait for price to come down to this level. All right, then you start buying. There's also a supporting trend line on BTC as well. We should have somewhere over here. So these are just some clues I have for you guys. Now, but remember, in my BTC prediction for 2026 of January, I told you guys something that BTC was going to pump. You can check that videos to confirm what I'm saying. I told you guys that BTC was going to pump into around 100k. Then before we will see another crash again. Now, BTC has been started pumping days later. As you can see, we've hit 98k, but I don't think this is where the price is going to drop from. What I'm expecting actually, let me just show you guys something. Let me remove all this dream. Sorry guys, this is how I analyze the charts because I have so many information on my head I'm trying to put out there on BTC. That's if I have a lot of things going on. Now, if you are to check this whole channel, this is going to be like a valid channel, right, for BTC. Now, for this channel to be complete, we will need BTC to tap this other zone over here. Now, if you use my golden zone, what I'm doing now is I'm dissecting BTC for you. If I use my golden zone strategy and map out this structure from this supply zone over here, you will see that BTC needs to go to that golden zone. Needs to go to that golden zone then before it starts selling. This is where the actual sell is going to occur. Now, what will it do before it go to that zone? It will need to come down, as you can see, to that demand zone. Then you can take a buy and target this level or just close out around this level. Then that level will be around that trend line. Then we'll see the dump. So this is basically the moves that I'm expecting from BTC in the coming days. So enough of that. Let's now break down these trades that I took, this trade and this trade, and I'll show you how I was able to get those trade on good on the smaller time frame. Now, if you go down to the smaller time frame, right, use the other charts where everything is clean. Now, what I did on Friday, let's head over to the 1 hour time frame, which is my day trading. I use 1 hour time frame for marking my POI for day trading. Yeah, so on the 1 hour time frame, we had these sorry guys, we had this strong rejection over here. Now, if you also filter that to the 15-minute time frame, 15 minutes time frame, we had these movements over, we had this zone over here. All right. So I was expecting the price to retrace down into the zone, fully into the zone, then take a buy from there. So I just use basic supply, demand, and support and resistance because we already had this whole area have been holding price. This whole zone over here, right, have been holding price since Monday. So it was a natural instinct to think that price was still going to respect this particular area. So that was why I was still having that buying bias. And for the fact that we had this zone and this FEG over here made this area and this high have not been swept. All right, none of them have been swept because if you take a look at what has been happening since this demand zone was created, you see that price will create a high, come down, create a high. This high will not take out this one, create another low, it creates a high, do not take out this one. These are signs that liquidity, creating relative equal highs, liquidity is gathering here. That eventually, before this structure, this demand zone gets invalidated, that they will need to be swept. All right, so that was how I was able to still see this zone as a value zone. So once price get there, went down to the 5 minutes time frame. I used a simple 5 minute engulfing. I didn't wait. Okay, it was a 1 minute, I think, change of character. It was a 1 minute change of character. Okay, yeah. So this was it. So as you can see on the 1 minute time frame, when price got to that level, created this low, this high, this low, then created this change of character. Like I said, I don't wait for retracement. So once it closed above this zone, that was where I entered that trade. And inside the trade over here, stop loss was just below this zone. Then as you can see, my target was just this high. It was roughly a 1 to 2 trade. It was a 1 to 2 trade thereabout. So my target was just these two. I didn't really focus on these ones, but I just focused on these two recent equal highs. And price went straight to that trade. So I took that screenshot when I was still in the trade. Though I was expecting price to maybe go a little bit higher, but I closed half of my position over here. And when the price started to give me an AMD setup to go the opposite way, I closed. Remember, now I'll show you that AMD setup right now. So after closing this trade, that was when I now knew that okay, it's like the double head and shoulder pattern, which I talked about in our WhatsApp group, is now going to play out. Where I told us that gold was going to come down. I talked about something like this in our WhatsApp group, that we're going to see something like this, then price will shoot down. So that was when I said, okay, it's like price is about to do that stuff since it's Friday. So what I did, let's head over to the 5 minute time frame. So what I did was I wanted to see an AMD setup. Now, how did I see the AMD setup? After I've closed that particular trade, I remember I told you guys that this whole area, that they were all what, accumulations. So I knew instantly once price started rejecting, that once price takes out this high, which is a kind of manipulation, right? It will now start to distribute downwards. So once we saw this movement over here, where we have this bearish 5 minute candle closing below this, creating a change of character, I took a sell. That was why I took that sell. That was why I took that sell, because all the liquidity here above has been taken out, but the liquidity that has been gathering since Monday has not been taken out. And gold does not leave liquidity behind every week. It will always clear both sides or clear one side. So that was how I was able to target this whole Monday, or this whole liquidity from Monday as my TP1. So that was why you saw in that trade, my TP1 was around this area, which was just below this whole liquidity over here. And that was how I caught this trade. Now, I wanted price to go down into this other zone, but it didn't get there. So when price started rejecting, I took my initial my remaining position of the market, and that was how I closed the week. So guys, that is how I caught those trade, and this is also the the things I expect gold and BTC to do in the coming in the week that we are entering. So if you have any views, or maybe your analysis is contrary to mine, or you expect something different from BTC and gold, let me know in the comment section. All right, to have a lovely trading week ahead. Peace.